So, man, I've just seen the bags under my eyes, so I've been in the water. My physical health plays up, and do you know what? I'll explain it to you. What I've always just clicked for myself, and that is my physical health plays up, yeah. And where it plays up, it's not nice, it's not pleasant, it hurts to a certain extent. But that's not really the issue. The issue is, it's like, I think I overdid it. So, like, you know, if you're in pain and you don't rest, you're gonna have problems. And well, I was in pain and I didn't rest, and I've got problems. And if honest, in honesty, the time that originated was, not only did I not really rest, but I antagonized the situation for myself. The reason is that's when I was self-harming. So with self-harm, you're essentially exerting energy like you're exercising, but at the same time you're adding physical damage to your body. And in all honesty, I mean, just thinking about it now for a split second, what's the real difference? Because when you exercise, you break down muscle fibers and you're essentially damaging your body to a certain extent, and then the body heals. Anyway, the long and short is, thank God I'm still alive, and I'm still here to speak, but at the same time I do believe I'm in a coma, so it could very well be that I'm gonna wake up with back in a few years ago when I was self-harming, and realise I've done myself some damage then, and I'm gonna cry. I'll tell you why I'm gonna cry in a second, but that's where I think my problems came from. It's like I overexerted myself and I was self-harming. It was a very unpleasant time, and it was very non-stop for a few months of that experience. And I think that's where my problem comes from. I had a mental health disorder before, and if I remember back when I got my mental health disorder, I was really healthy when I first got it. But in relation to what I'm experiencing now, I think that's where it's at. So I've pushed the limits of my physical human body, and I've set a new paradigm for what is Andreas in terms of physicality. And I no longer respond, my body no longer responds to pain and situations, hot, cold, sleep, all of that stuff, the nervous system elements, in quite the same way. It seems to have a new threshold, a new barrier, but for whatever reason the body still functions to heal and repair itself at the normal threshold. So it's like, if we imagine up a straight line, and that's the pain threshold barrier, the higher we go, the more pain. It's like, that's the normal limit, halfway, yeah? Where I exerted myself, I find myself here now. Well, I'm touching the ceiling, but it's for the camera screen. So I find myself here now, above it, like halfway above it. But the body starts to heal in the same way at this level. So some of the responses I'm receiving are like, I'm in agony. And some of them are like, no, chill. you've still got like a few hours before you're in pain or whatever. And that's the constant fight I'm having at the moment. And that'd be fine. But in that little chunk of disparity where I'm slightly confused as to what's going on, my mental health can take advantage, and my mental health just has to say, ah, like really concentrating in that moment to still deal with a lot of pain. Because that threshold is, my body hasn't turned superhuman. I'm still the same human being, same as you. I still bleed the same as you. And in that place, my body's still responding the same as you. And my mental health, all it has to do is just the slightest little bit and I fall apart. And I have done my best to tell doctors in the past, but anyway. Two things. So first of all, I'm hearing the tone of my voice and it's lighter. I've been fighting it today because it's been so hard. And yesterday was so depressing. And like I've been having forced positive emotions to a truthful depression, and it just makes it worse because you're like, yeah, for the life of me I can't experience that. I'll have to be mentally ill to allow myself to experience that, and I have to do my best to be sane. That's my responsibility within my mental health. So to first of all hear that I'm okay to speak in a lighter tone in this moment is a reassurance. It's like I'm not kidding myself sort of thing. It's just I can't have it forced on me. I have to come to that point of saying, yeah, I'm really depressed, and right now I want to communicate to the outside world. Do I speak in the depression where I'm being killed on a daily basis and being dragged down, or do I raise my voice slightly and make it slightly more pleasant expression? So for myself, I know I'm not being an idiot about what I'm experiencing back at home, and that's what I've got to constantly do, check in with myself, you know, am I lying to myself, am I lying to myself? But anyway, I've just come to, so I have two boats. One I'm moving on to, and the one I'm here at now, my own, i.e. so my own, is a boat I purchased with backdated benefits money. That I didn't get paid benefits that I was entitled to for a very long time. And it all came through in like a lump sum. And I was able to purchase this boat. I explored the option of moving on here for a short period of time, but it just wasn't practical for my mental health. I think it could have worked, in honesty, but where I was just stressed in the first instance, and then trying to move, I mean, that's what's happening now, but the boat is a bit bigger. It's a lot bigger. It's about twice the size of this, if not more, because when you take into account a boat, you've got the bow, the front, and you've got the rear, and they're pretty much the same on all boats. So if you double the size, what is pretty much half of this boat remains, and the other third, if this makes sense to anybody, is it's probably like let's just do a quick math. Seven to 40. It's probably about 5 times as big. And for my mental health, that's that's a big thing. And I've got I just found something else. It's just like, I've got a mental health disorder and I've got somebody else with a mental health disorder. And I'm not able to raise my awareness to see them. And I don't know if they're taking the piss or if they're genuine. But either way, I've got my mentality of how I'm dealing with it. And it's just like, I won't go into details as to why, but it's just like a bit scary, the what I just experienced then. It's like I'm being stalked or something. But I've got my mentality about how I'm dealing with this situation. I've just got to forget everything else. Anyway, long story short, I've been trying to repair my Oni so I can sell her, because I purchased the new boat before I found my, no, can't remember how it worked. Anyway, long story short, I've got the new boat. I'm trying to sell this boat. I've done some DIY to it. It's pardon me, it's a bit shabby, but it's a home. Like, you've got everything here for a home to live. And if you're a normal person that isn't insane like me, you could easily live here. If I didn't have my mental health, I would love to have lived on a boat like this. If I was to take all the lessons my mental health has given me in terms of spiritual learning, like attachment and ego and possessions, that's been learnt from my mental health, I'd now love to live here, because it's a very humble life, and that a humble life is the best way to live. That's what my mental health has shown me. That's what life has shown me. And it's almost like the boat I have now, which is, what did we say, 5 times as big as this, it'd be too much. If I was a normal person, it'd be like, it's too extravagant. But this boat will be perfect for me. And in honesty, it's not perfect for me now with a mental health disorder. The boat I'm moving on to is probably, I've not properly moved on it, I've not properly done it up, but at a guess, it's pretty much there and thereabouts as to adequate to my needs and perfect for my needs. So in that sense, it's like the same thing, but with a different boat for me. So all I'm saying is that I'm getting this boat ready to sell. It's what's called a project boat, because it's not finished. It's not up to par, like it's a bit rough around the edges. But it's definitely a home. You could definitely live here. And anyway, it's been a stress for me because I've not been able to move it for a long time. I've been trying to get it started, and I've got a new ignition switch. The key, I lost the keys. If the person that was stalking me didn't steal them, believe me. But anyway, as I said, I'm dealing with it in a very positive way, that situation, and I'm replacing the ignition switch now. And I don't know much about boat electrics. Oh, well, I know much about boat electrics. I'm good with boat electrics, but in terms of the engine electrics, I don't really know a lot. I'm happy to do it methodically and take my time with it, and I can do stuff. But what happened is, when I took the old one out, I took pictures with my phone, so I know where all the wires went back. And I looked on my phone the other day when the new ignition switch arrived, and I couldn't find them. I was like, I don't know how to wire this up again. I'll have to just try it. I was planning to do, because there's 3 cables, and one I should know where it goes, and then there's a combination of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different positions, and 2 other wires to go in those 5 different positions. So what I was going to do is literally have to systemize it out methodically and go, you know, how many combinations of 2 are there when there's 5? Like, you're looking at about, I can't do the math, but it's I don't know if it's 20 odd positions. I was going to have to write it down, all the positions, and work my way through all those positions until it started. But I've just come to the boat, and what you saw me look over earlier when I said I was going to cry is that I've realised the cables are already numbered, and there's a corresponding number on the ignition switch. So whoever was here before, he labelled the electrics well, and he's made my life easier in this moment. Otherwise I would have, you know, I don't really want to be here today. I've got a flat to sort out, to move, so I just want to come get it started, and that would be a reassurance off my mind that I can sell her. Put a sign in the window, and that's it. And that's where I'm at. And it's just to say, you know, if anybody wants to purchase the boat, I think it's worth a few £1,000s at the moment. But if it's for a friend on Facebook, I'll offer a discount. We'll come to an arrangement. But, you know, the 1 or 2 views I get on Facebook, I'm hardly going to sell her with this video. So I'm going to crack on, put the sign in the window, and get on with my day.